Okay, I'm back. Still couldn't figure it out. And yes, Nevi. Yes, I am an IT person, but like I tell people, I am cell phone illiterate and an IT person at the same time. Imagine that. Yes, I know about technology, but I got drugged kicking and screaming into the smartphone world. And I do not use my phone for much. I type. I type very fast. I can do a lot of things on a computer that I cannot do multitasking with a cell phone. So, that's basically why I don't know much about live feeds and my iPhone. And, if there's anybody out there that can help me out, figure it out, I'd much appreciate it. Because when things pop in my head, I'm going to share it whether I know what I'm doing with live feed or not. So, I'm going to, what is this here? That's making comments. Okay, I mentioned that, Lord have mercy, help me. I'm not pasting anything. Okay, so let me just get into this topic. I don't feel, on Sunday I realized that I got humbled and about being an advocate for transgender men and women, especially when it comes to what I say publicly about that topic. I have been in transition medically for about almost a year and 7 months. And there's just a whole lot of other people out there that have been transitioning much longer than I. So I kind of got humbled by the fact that I don't know everything about what there is about transitioning, and all I can talk about is my experiences as they are happening. And, as I evolve, my ideas change. So I'm going to stick to what I know versus what I don't know, because I have a lot to learn about being a transgender man, and I'm evolving, and I'm changing, and I'm transitioning. My thoughts are changing. My emotions definitely have changed, and so I'm just going to stick to something that has really been on my mind ever since I started making videos back in June of last year. And here's the thing. Here's something that has occurred to me, and I don't know if it has occurred to anybody else out there, but it has occurred to me. And one, that there's two things going on with humanity right now, and the major one that I'm seeing, especially here on Facebook, is various degrees of pettiness. This is what is causing people to attack each other. This is what is causing a whole lot of dynamics going on within communities across the country. And I doubt that a lot of people even know they're being petty, or they're proud to be petty. I mean, I've actually heard people say, I'm petty and I really don't care. But they should care, because that is part of our division. And I don't care if you're white, black, Hispanic, Asian, heterosexual, cisgender, transgender, non-binary, bisexual, gay, lesbian. Did I already say lesbian? Anyway, every single type of person in this world is practicing being petty. I mean, I've literally had people who never even said, people that I respected and I thought respected me, just all of a sudden out of the blue, just unfriend me or block me or something, and I had no idea why. And it's literally petty not to have a conversation with me that I may have done something to offend them, and I have no idea, because I can't even contact that person and find out if I said something wrong. I mean, if I'm man enough and adult enough and mature enough that if I do something that's really inappropriate or wrong or whatever, I will apologize and I will change it. And I'm not one of those guys that will. I wish I could see if anybody's here, but I'm not one of those guys that will just say I'm sorry, and then next thing I do, I'm making the same mistake again. I don't say I'm sorry lightly. There's a difference between being sorry and making an amends. And amends means you see it all the way down to your toes, from your head to your toes, that you are wrong, what you are wrong about, and you're committed not to doing that behavior anymore. So I'm serious when I say that about being human and making mistakes and not even knowing we're making mistakes half the time until somebody brings it up. And if they never bring it up, their pettiness wins. Okay, that's number one going on in this world. Number two that's going on is that I was brought up in Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, Codependence Anonymous, Al-Anon. I mean, various other programs and things that I've done in my life to improve myself, to better myself as a person, that there is abundance on the planet. See, the white supremacists, everybody on the planet is coming from a place of not thinking there's abundance on the planet. So everybody's grabbing for their own piece of what prosperity and success and notoriety and popularity and all of those things. Everybody's grabbing for that as if there's not enough to go around. So they have to take from somebody else. And the moral majority are white, rich people who own this world. They are of the belief that there's not abundance on the planet, so they are protecting their piece, their huge piece of the pie here. And then that trickles down to marginalized people who also feel even more so that there's not abundance on the planet, and every man for themselves, and they just better grab whatever they can as quickly as they can, and is creating a dynamic in which nobody wins, and we all end up fighting with each other, and we all end up being petty with each other, and having arguments. Arguments are petty. Differences are petty. I want to be embraced for my differences. See, there's people out there that say that they don't want to see that I'm different, but I am different. Society treats me different because I'm black. Society treats me different because I'm transgender. Society treats me different because I'm short. I'm actually short. Society treats you different depending on what they see. And so, you know, all of this is things that I have been taught over the years since I got clean and sober back in 1983. And yes, I just celebrated 34 years of being clean and sober on the 23rd of May. And so I'm bringing teachings that I've learned from a variety of programs, a variety of organizations, a variety of a lot of things that I have done to become self-aware, to become awake, to become conscious, to be responsible for what I'm thinking and sometimes what I'm feeling, but mainly what I'm thinking. And this goes back to something that I was talking about that meeting of bringing my flavor of progressiveness from the West Coast to the East Coast and to the South. Because as I've moved around, I've never seen anything remotely resembling the things that I learned and was privy to and had access to in the Bay Area of California. And it wasn't just the Bay Area, it was all up and down, it was all over California. And I was like a sponge. I soaked up as much as I could. I was a self-help junkie. And see, you know, people will invest in all sorts of things in this world and in this country. And the last thing they invest in is self. And I was taught that, you know what, if you're not happy, whatever you're offering the world is going to have, you're going to run around with a chip on your shoulder about it. And that I'm committed to not having a chip on my shoulder about anything that I'm doing. And I have a purpose on earth, which is why I stay above the petty, dysfunctional bullshit that I see going on in any organization, any city, and I cannot be confined and be effective in what my purpose is on the planet if I get caught up in all of the stuff that I hear and that I read and that I'm told over the phone. It doesn't matter the media, but in order for me to be effective in my purpose, I cannot attach myself to any one thing that's going on in the United States. As I've said before, I mentor people worldwide. And in order for me to do that, I just can't get caught up in all the politics, the dysfunction, and the everybody grabbing, trying to step on each other's shoulders to grab some kind of notoriety, and that's just the way it's gonna be, you know. And I'm not gonna mention organizations by name, but I must be above the pettiness and the bullshit that I'm seeing and that I'm hearing, and I observe it. I don't judge it. I don't judge it at all. We all have a place to be effective in this country, be it local meetings, support meetings, conferences, organizations. We all belong in that. But me, and there's everybody has something they have to offer the world. It's just what I have to offer involves me talking to a great many people worldwide, and and keeping their confidence in me mentoring them. So, I've had people say, you're always on Facebook, you're addicted to Facebook. No, I'm not addicted to Facebook. But I do have a purpose for being there, and it is to help people overcome a great many things in their life because I'm passing it forward because I was taught how to do that. So I am teaching others and mentoring others to overcome to go through their transition, to overcome their fears, to do a whole lot of things that have nothing to do with what's going on locally. At the same time, first and foremost, I am a black man. And, I am dividing my time between being involved in things that are going to affect my people. Because we are the most oppressed race in this country for the longest time, except the American Indians. And even the American Indians didn't get their culture stripped from them. They did not get their language stripped from them. We are the ones that they have been fighting for the longest in the United States of America. So that is my primary focus, but not necessarily my primary focus at the local level. I'm going to be voting at the local level, but I'm not going to get pulled into all sorts of groups doing this and that and this and that is in their box. I lived and have taught how to live outside of the box, how to live in the unknown and be okay in the unknown, and have God lead me every step of the way. Everything that, I see little things going along. Everything that I do, God is leading me, not any individual person anywhere on this planet. And I do take input from people, and I change and I grow according to that input. But I can't be pigeonholed because my box is extremely big. And most people's boxes are too small. I would suffocate. I would become ineffective in what I do and what my purpose is on the planet. So, there's that. And then I really want to get across the point. I really want people to get that there is abundance on the planet. Maybe some of you have worked for companies whereby, there's still a hierarchy. There's still somebody there's owners, there's CEOs, there's people at the top, especially in corporations. But when they gave their employees a whole bunch of benefits and attaboys and training and whatnot, when they had happy employees, those employees pushed them further and faster than if you have an employee base of miserable employees. So by the same token, I'm here to help people become unmiserable and stop being so petty. Most of the things that I see on Facebook and in my comments on YouTube and in people's responses to things that I'm saying is petty as hell. And I'm going to put my glasses on so that I can read what petty means so that you can get it. Okay? All right. Meaning or ungenerous in small or trifling things. Ungenerous. Trifling. How many people agree with that? That as they watch other people in groups and watch other people interact and hear things going on in different organizations around the world, think that most of that shit's trifling. It's not solution oriented. It's bent around who do I got to step on. Oh, who we got? Hi, Wanda. I can actually see that. How you doing, girl? You know, it's early in the morning. But see, it's like human beings take trifling and pettiness to a whole new level that has never really existed the way that I've seen it in my 60 years on the planet. And yes, okay, I'm telling you my age. I'm almost 60 years old. So I've lived a lot of life, and I've done a lot of things to improve myself. And good morning, Wanda. I can see that, but I'm telling you how small this print is, so I can barely see it. I lost my train of thought. But that if everybody soul searched every day about how they can improve each and every day in each and every way, everybody on the planet, this world would be a different place. It just would. From the right-wingers, from everybody. Because everybody's looking, the way I see it, hurt people end up hurting people. And there's a lot of people hurting on the planet. And they don't know no better. They hurt, so they're going to turn around and hurt somebody else. And they don't even know they're hurting anybody. They're just hurt and pissed off and bitter, and they have a chip on their shoulder. So they're going to turn around and hurt you with that. And not even blink. They don't even know it. And it takes divine intervention. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to preach as though God is, the ultimate answer. He's just the ultimate answer for me. That he taught me how to rise above my own pettiness inside, even about me, my insecurities, my fears, all of that stuff got taught to me how to overcome that. I'm afraid every day. But I was taught how to grab my fear by the hand and go do what I gotta do. Not for me, even though part of it is for me, because I must, maintain, I must be able to pay the rent and things, basic needs like that. But as far as people are concerned, there's not enough healthy communications and healthy emotions and healthy thinking going on with people worldwide. There's just a bunch of bickering and fighting and pettiness and dropping bombs and doing this, flex your muscle to show somebody else they can't step on you. And, that whole approach needs to change. And I don't know how it's going to change, but, we need to stop fighting everybody. So let me tell you something about that meeting I went to last Thursday. It wasn't a BLM meeting, but it was a meeting for black people to try to come together and create some kind of agenda and some kind of a contract to collectively get together and try to figure out how to, how to overcome what is becoming very apparent in this country, that white people are not just gunning for transgenders, they're gunning for blacks, they're gunning for a whole lot of different kinds of people in the United States. And this group of people wanted to be front runners and put together something where some very powerful black leaders could get together and figure out how to work together. But let me tell you what happened. After I left that meeting, I sent an email to that organization and point blank asked them if they were inclusive of LGBTQIA people. And the answer I got back was rather vague. So I told whoever I was talking to who didn't identify themselves that, look, I ain't looking for special treatment. I ain't looking for y'all to create an agenda for LGBTQIA people. All I wanted to know was, what is the overall attitude and group conscience of that organization when it comes to us? Because I'm not putting my life in danger. I don't want to run into somebody in one of those meetings who, by chance, finds out that I am transgender and tries to hurt me as I move around Atlanta by myself for now. And I didn't get an answer back. And let me tell you something about not getting an answer. Not getting an answer is an answer. You know, that they will not be protective of us, of other cisgender, black, heterosexual people who have a problem with us. So I sent a response back telling them that. And that it's all right. I don't want to be involved in that thing alone. And, good luck. And when we do decide to come out, hey, I'll go through the back door. If they don't open up the front door, I'll go through the back door. But I'm bringing a whole bunch of us with me, see, so that we can protect ourselves, each other, in case any bullshit goes down. They aren't likely to do that to an entire group of people, or maybe they are. So we have to think, we have to get together as a community in the black LGBTQIA community. And I think it's got to start with transgender first, because we're on the bottom rung and we need to be uplifted. Whether we uplift ourselves or anybody else uplifts us. You know what? I don't know how long this thing is at all, but I just recently heard of some trans women who were attacking trans men, misgendering them, calling them a woman. Look, that didn't make no sense. Okay, a transgender woman calling a trans man a woman is like a transgender man calling a trans woman a man. That pettiness, petty bickering, petty picking on people. And, like I said in the other video, there's a whole bunch of people that are being assholes and just looking around for somebody to inflict their transphobic feelings inside of themselves, the shame they feel inside of themselves. It all starts with self, see? And then another topic that came up was that, wow, man, you're so positive and confident in your transition. Did T do that? And I said, no, it didn't. Here's what T did. Whatever was going on with me before I started testosterone is what will continue to go on, but testosterone intensifies it. If you're depressed before you start T, you're going to be depressed times 100. If you have other mental issues going on before you start these powerful hormones or steroids, whatever you drug into transition is what is going to be intensified by hormones. So, it's like you gotta have a level of self-awareness and a level of working on yourself to eliminate some of these things that are going on with you that you think testosterone is going to fix. No, I ain't going to fix it. Ain't going to fix it. It's going to intensify it. So if you were fucked up before you started testosterone, you're going to be more fucked up on it. So people are not taking self-care seriously enough. And part of my purpose is to heal people of that. And let me tell you something. There's a reason my name is the Pollinator, for a reason. There is a reason for that. Because, I talk to a great many people, probably over 200 people check in with me from time to time throughout, my transition. And I will tell them things, and then I leave it up to them what to do with it. I'm not attached to the results. I pollinate them. I move on to another flower. The ones that stick with me and the ones that I stick around are people who want to keep getting pollinated without giving me too many problems. In other words, if they want to sit there and argue for an hour over what I'm saying, who we got there? Hey, Karen, how you doing, baby? If they want to sit there and argue, every time I try to help them, every time I give them resources, every time I lead them to the water, I ain't going to make them drink it. And if they won't drink the water, that's on them. Ain't going to affect my life. I could care less. And while I could care less, I also love people. I do care. But I don't care enough to spend my time, waste my time on people who are stuck in a space of negativity because they didn't work it out. And I'll tell them that that's what they need to do. They need to work out their issues. And transitioning is tough. It's tough enough. With a sound state of mind and healthy emotions and healthy thinking, it's hard. So imagine going through this without, having dysfunctional emotions, dysfunctional thinking, a dysfunctional relationship with God. I told somebody the other day, you know what? You either living in fear or you're living in faith. So you need to learn how to grab your fear and walk the walk of faith. Because, fear is the opposite of faith. And faith is the opposite of fear. And this is coming from somebody who, I'm not even Christian. That's going to shock some people. No, I'm not. Again, I have to rise above. My purpose requires me not to be practicing dogma over any religion or faith practice. I've got enough love and spirituality in me to be able to be effective with any kind of person. And this is coming from somebody who's lived a privileged life. I grew up a privileged life, but I've also lived in the street. I was also homeless. And all these stuff is in my videos on YouTube. But what's funny about that is people on Facebook don't feel like looking at YouTube, but they'll look at live feeds. And so that's why I'm doing the live feeds. Because that's just how it seems to be working right now. But, I'm not going to do it very often. I'm going to return to making YouTube videos. But in the meantime, in between time, I just wanted to let people know who I am and where I'm coming from. Yes, I am an advocate, but I'm a different kind of advocate. And God is leading the way for me. I'm very obedient to Him. I am not obedient to mankind. Humans are screwed up on this planet. God is not screwed up. And He talks to me day and night, and He tells me what to do. And when He says jump, I say how high? Where do you want me to go? That's how come I ended up at that meeting last Thursday. That's how come I ended up at that meeting on Sunday. That's why I ended up in a meeting today. It's just some kind of a thing that God says, go there. And I go there. Even if I don't know why I'm going there. I know He's looking out for my best interest, where I don't necessarily know that humans, people, are looking out for my best interest. And that they're just stirring the pot. Stirring the pot. because of pettiness. And because they don't think there's abundance on the planet. I was taught that there is. I do believe there is. There's enough for everybody. And if these people at the top, these rich-ass people at the top, would loosen up and realize that if they allow other people to be as powerful as them, that it will exalt the planet. It will make them richer. But they don't fucking think that way. They think, oh my God, I don't want anybody taking what I have, so I'll create a foundation or something and make myself look charitable. That is not helping oppression. That is not helping anything. That just keeps them rich. And they got all sorts of loopholes to stay that way and to perpetuate oppression and discrimination across the land, across the United States, and across the planet. All you got to do is look around and you see that there's fighting and oppression and discrimination and, you know, all that shit going on worldwide. So if we're going to save humanity and if we're going to save each other, we got to have a whole different mindset. We just do. You know, and everybody needs to teach everybody else how to do that if you know how to do it. And if you don't, put on your student hat and let somebody teach you. You know, one of the 7 deadly sins is also pride, which prevents a lot of people from saying, yeah, I got some issues going on, but I think I'd rather chase the American dream or chase whatever dream you're chasing and not pay any attention whatsoever to, who is it? Is there anybody else? Oh, that's Karen. Not paying attention to themselves. And by the time they get around to it, they're in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. And the older you get, the harder it is for you to learn a new trick. That part is true. Because young people seem to catch on really quick when I'm talking to them and I'm mentoring them. It's the older folks that are rigid and unbendable. And guess what? That's only going to hurt them. Again, I'm not living their life. I don't have to sleep in their bed. I don't have to live with the consequences of their self-ignorance. But I don't want everybody to be ignorant. That's what's wrong with the planet, is there's a bunch of ignorant people running around. And some of them are you. Don't even know it, but some of them are you. I have blind spots. There's things that I'm ignorant about, that I'm learning about. But the problem is, I'm learning about them. The best leaders made the best followers before they became leaders. And even leaders need to find people to follow. They need mentors too. They need people more powerful than them, more knowledgeable than them, so that we all learn together how to love one another. But okay, I've been talking long enough. I don't even know how long I've been talking, but you know, the thing is that that's what I do. I spend a great amount of time researching things for people, helping people to see things that they've never seen. I lead them to articles about things that they don't know about, and I do that 24/7. And you know, during the day, I'm talking to people in the United States, and during the night, I'm talking to people in other countries in different time zones. So I don't have time to be stuck in local stuff going on, unless I want to, unless I have the time to. But nobody's going to rope me into anything in particular unless I feel called to it by God. He'll let me know if that is the right place for me to be. And if it's not, it's nothing personal, and I'll try to be as tactful as I can, but I will decline. There's other things that I wanted to say, but this feed is getting long, and I just want to everybody know that please, 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 please look into yourselves and get rid of pettiness. Look into yourselves and get rid of this idea that there isn't abundance on the planet and that you need to get yours before it runs out. See, that before it runs out, before it isn't there. And I'll break it down in a way that is more practical than just what I'm saying off the top of my head. I'm just telling you things that I've learned over the years, and maybe that's why my transition has been so awesome, is because I didn't walk into it blind. I researched a lot of things, and I soul searched with my therapist and with my friends and my family. And I'm real hyper. That's why I have trouble sleeping, because I'm just, you have no idea, folks, how really, only my family and my friends and people who talk to me on the phone know how fast I talk and how long I can talk. I'll wear people out talking. Hey, Caden, how you doing, buddy? So, that's why I'm sitting so close to this, so that I could see it without my glasses. Mr. Vanity himself. I'm not vain about a lot of things, but glasses is one of them. So, spread love, spread understanding, learn to understand yourself. A lot of these young people don't know who they are, and we as elders have to teach them. But something happened when children got the ability to put their parents in jail for disciplining them. And I think that was the worst mistake on the planet, because these children, man, all they got to do is get pissed off at you, make something up, and all of a sudden you're in jail. In the black community, a lot of these black mothers and fathers, they don't give a shit if you put them in jail. They are going to discipline you and teach you to respect your elders. I could not disrespect my elders. I could not. I can separate myself from them, but I do not disrespect them the way that I see going on Facebook 24/7. A bunch of kids who could give a flying fuck what somebody who's been there has to say, who is wiser than them. But, I remember when I was in my 20s, you couldn't tell me shit either. But I'm here to tell you that, what, your life would be much easier if you grab onto somebody who's been there and avoid the mistakes they made. Or learn on your own. But learn. Learn from your mistakes. Ray, the pollinator, loves each and every one of you, and I hope you have a blessed Sunday. I'll talk with you some other time.